You probably have a jar of Vaseline somewhere in this house right now. Most women do. Most women used it once, when something cracked or bled and nothing else was close. They put it on dry skin at the wrong time in the wrong amount, and by morning they had already forgotten about it. The women in 1955 used it every single day. A jar of Chesebro's petroleum jelly cost 39 cents at the 5 and dime. It touched their faces, their lashes, their heels, their hair, their nails. A jar lasted 4 months. Their skin was better than ours. They owned 12 fewer products. Number 12 is what she put on her teeth before a formal photograph. It has nothing to do with whitening. Number 1 takes 30 seconds and costs nothing. And it is the reason everything else on this list worked. These are the 25 things they knew. Number 25, shaving. Before foam, before gel, before anything in an aerosol can. A thin layer of Vaseline on damp legs before the razor. The blade moves differently. The skin is moisturized from the first stroke, not repaired afterward with a second product, but protected through the entire process. No post-shave dryness, no redness by the time the shoes went on, no separate bottle for after. The aerosol shaving creams that became a bathroom staple by the early 1960s cost 49 cents and climbing. Chesebro's still cost 39. Women who had already discovered this knew which one they didn't need. Number 24, making perfume last. Perfume applied to dry skin evaporates fast. The molecules have nothing to hold on to, and so they don't. A trace of Vaseline on the pulse points, inside of each wrist, inside of each elbow, and the base of the throat, before the perfume goes on. Apply the perfume directly over it, the same bottle, the same amount, the same woman. The scent lasts into the evening instead of fading by noon. It costs 3 additional seconds. They knew it worked without needing the chemistry explained. Number 23. Preventing blisters, new shoes, stiff shoes. Any shoe with a heel or a strap that would rub should be prepared before they are worn. Vaseline on the back of the heel, on the side of the foot where a strap would cross, on any point of anticipated contact, applied before leaving the house, not after the blister had already started. Prevention and treatment are not the same process. These women understood that prevention cost 30 seconds and treatment cost 3 days. They were not sentimental about their shoes. They were practical about their feet. Number 22, reviving nearly finished mascara. When a mascara tube began to dry out and clump, which happened quickly with the formulas of that era, the tube was not thrown away. A clean wand was kept separate for this purpose. A trace of Vaseline was mixed with the remaining product on the back of the hand. It was applied as a softer, sheerer coat, better for day than for evening, but entirely functional. That could give 2 to 3 more weeks from a tube that most women would have discarded at the first sign of clumping. In a household that tracked every purchase, that was not a small thing. Number 21, scalp treatment. Once a month, not weekly. Apply a small amount of Vaseline to the scalp with your fingertips, covering the whole surface. Leave it overnight and wash it out in the morning with a second shampoo. In 1955, a scalp conditioning treatment at the beauty parlor ran $3. Women who knew this trick arrived at their appointment with a scalp that didn't need the treatment they were paying for. They paid for the set and the small talk. The scalp they'd handled the night before. If you grew up with a jar of Vaseline sitting in your grandmother's medicine cabinet and never knew what it was actually for, subscribe. There are 20 more tricks in this video, and they get more useful as they go. Number 20, elbows and knees. The skin where the body bends, where it presses against surfaces constantly, darkens and thickens if left alone. This is the skin's response to friction and dehydration. It is not permanent. It reverses. Vaseline on both elbows after every bath or shower before the skin fully dries. 2 seconds per elbow, the same on both knees, or a longer overnight treatment if the issue was more advanced. The darkening reverses slowly. It reverses completely. It requires only consistency, not a product that costs $22 and calls itself body butter. Number 19, heel treatment. Cracked heels respond to a protocol, not a product, a protocol. Dry pumice stone first, dry, not wet. Wet makes the stone less abrasive, takes longer, and accomplishes less. Work in small circles, not long strokes. Remove what has been loosened. Then Vaseline, a full coverage layer over the entire heel, a cotton sock, sleep. The first night, improvement. The third night, significant improvement. By the seventh night, what felt permanent is gone. At the Rexall drugstore on the corner, a jar of Chesabros costs 39 cents. Most women who have tried heel cream at $22 and given up have never tried the sequence. The sequence is the treatment. The product is incidental. Number 18, flyaway control. Before anti-frizz serum, before hair oil, before the vocabulary for what they were correcting even existed. A trace of Vaseline worked between both palms until nearly invisible, then smoothed lightly over the surface of set hair to quiet what had lifted. The quantity rules are more unforgiving in hair than anywhere else on this list. The correct amount is what remains on the palms after you think you've already wiped them clean. That last trace is the dose. Palm to hair only, never directly from the jar to the strand. Every woman who says she tried it and it didn't work applied it directly from the jar. That is why it didn't work. The container and the method are not the same thing. Number 17, split end management. Vaseline doesn't repair a split end. Nothing repairs a split end. The split is structural, and it is permanent. What it does is seal the split temporarily, so it doesn't continue traveling upward into the healthy hair above it. Applied to the last 2 inches of each section before sleep. A trace was worked between the fingers first, never scooped from the jar. It slowed the progression. Beauty parlor appointments ran $2 to $3 in 1953. This bought time between them. In a household on a strict monthly budget, that time was worth something. Number 16, taming the hairline. For photographs, for formal occasions, for any event where the hairline had to hold through an entire evening. A trace of Vaseline along the baby hairs at the edge of the face, pressed gently in the direction they grew. Not styled away, smoothed down. There is a difference. The result held through dinner, through dancing, through the flash bulb at 11 o'clock. The technique took 20 seconds. Nothing that costs $20 today does it better. Between 1955 and 1975, a single jar of petroleum jelly was quietly replaced by 12 products. Scalp conditioner, heel cream, anti-frizz serum. Each product does one thing. Each thing had already been done. For decades, by millions of women, by the jar that cost 39 cents at the Rexall. The industry did not improve the functions. It separated them. Each function got a name, a package, a shelf position, and a reason to exist. The woman who had been using one jar now needed 12. Each cost between $8 and $45. The total exceeded $300 a year. The jar still cost 39 cents. Nothing about the product changed. Everything about how it was sold changed. And between those two facts, something was lost that had nothing to do with the petroleum jelly itself, and everything to do with the woman who knew how to use it. Number 15, cotton glove method. The hands age faster than the face because they are washed more, exposed to more, and moisturized far less consistently. The correction, damp hands, the same 30-second rule as the face. A full application of Vaseline worked into every surface, including the joints and the skin around each nail, and then cotton gloves. Sleep in them. Remove in the morning. The gloves hold the Vaseline against the skin through the night instead of letting it transfer to the sheets. Cotton gloves at Woolworths ran 49 cents a pair in 1954. Once a week to maintain, twice a week if the hands were regularly in water. The women who did this had hands that didn't match their age. Their daughters noticed. Their daughters are watching this now. Number 14, nail polish trick. Before painting the nails, apply Vaseline carefully to the skin directly surrounding each nail. Keep it off the nail plate entirely. Polish does not adhere to Vaseline. Anything that lands on the surrounding skin during application peels off cleanly once dry. No edge cleanup, no correction with acetone, no particularly steady hand required. They reserved the steady hand for the actual application. Everything else, the Vaseline handled. Number 13, cuticle conditioning. Before cuticle oil was a category, before anyone had named it, bottled it, and placed it next to the polish at the pharmacy, this was the entire category. A rice grain amount per cuticle, massaged in with the opposite thumbnail in small circles, every evening while watching television or reading the evening paper. 60 seconds for both hands. Cuticles that receive this consistently do not harden the same way. They do not crack in a dry winter. They do not catch on silk. They do not require cutting, because cutting creates the cycle that makes more cutting necessary. Vaseline ends the cycle. Cuticle oil at the drugstore today runs $12 to $18 for the same function. Number 12, the teeth trick. Hammond, Indiana, 1952. Her daughter's school pageant. The gymnasium. The photographer with the flash bulb at the front of the room. The woman 2 rows back, Lorraine, reached into her evening bag before the lights came up, dipped her ring finger into a small jar, and ran a thin film along her front teeth. Her daughter asked what that was. Vaseline, Lorraine said. The lipstick will not go anywhere. She was right. Lipstick does not transfer to a surface coated in Vaseline. It stays on the lips. The smile stays clean through the ceremony, through the reception afterward, through the photographs that came back from the developer 2 weeks later, showing every woman's lipstick exactly where it started. This was not in any beauty column. It was passed between women in the 2 minutes before the room filled up. That is how most useful knowledge moved in 1952. Number 11, lipstick extender. When a tube of Evening in Paris lipstick wore down to the metal, 49 cents at Woolworth's, and not a cent to waste, it was not thrown away. The remaining product was scooped out with a lip brush, mixed on the back of the hand with a small amount of Vaseline, blended until combined, and applied as a tinted gloss. The color stayed. The coverage went sheerer. The product lasted 3 more weeks. Nothing was discarded before it was completely finished. If your mother kept a jar of Vaseline on her nightstand, not because she was old-fashioned, but because she knew what it was for, hit the like button. Because that woman is exactly who I'm making this channel for. Number 10, overnight lip treatment. Remove any remaining lipstick first. Vaseline does that. Use your ring finger and a warm cloth for 2 passes. Then apply a full layer to both lips and sleep. In the morning, a warm washcloth or a soft dry toothbrush moved in small circles lifts what is dried at the surface. What's underneath is different. The lipstick formulas of the 1950s were considerably drier than what is available now. Women who did this every night maintained lips that looked like they hadn't needed it. Women who skipped it for a week could tell by day 4. Number 9, eyeshadow base. A trace of Vaseline on the lid before shadow goes on. The pigment grips a slightly moisturized surface differently than bare, dry skin. The color reads deeper and it holds longer. Eyeshadow primer today runs $15 to $24. The technique that preceded it cost nothing and was in every bathroom in America. The quantity is everything. Barely there. Then wait 2 minutes before the shadow. If Vaseline is still visible on the lid when you apply shadow, it will create a crease within the first hour. The waiting is the technique. Number 8, eyebrows. Before brow gel, Vaseline held brows in place. A trace on the ring fingertip, smoothed upward through the brow in the direction of growth, setting the hairs in position. It holds through a full day, conditions the hairs at the same time, and leaves nothing visible when applied correctly. Applied in excess, it looks greased, and the whole effect is lost. The margin between correct and too much is thinner here than anywhere else. Brow gel today costs $18 to $22. The function is identical. Number 7, eyelashes. A clean mascara wand, not the mascara wand, a separate one kept only for this, loaded with a small amount of Vaseline and drawn from root to tip. One pass, not a coat, a trace. Then sleep. Vaseline does not grow lashes. What it does is condition them. Conditioned lashes break less at the tip. Lashes that do not break at the tip retain the length they would otherwise lose. When the breakage stops, what is left appears longer and fuller, because it is. The result builds across weeks, not overnight. They understood this without the vocabulary for it. They saw the result and kept doing it. That was the only proof they needed. Lash serums today run between $80 and $160 for the branded versions. The mechanism described above has not changed. Number 6, the highlight. The high point of the cheekbone, the brow bone, and the Cupid's bow catch light differently with a trace of Vaseline on them. This wasn't called highlighting. It wasn't sold. Women who understood light knew it. In daylight, in the glow of an evening room, in the flash of the camera, a barely there film on the high point of the face reads as luminosity rather than shine, applied last of everything. A fingertip touch, blended immediately. For the school photograph, the wedding reception, the event where the flashbulb was going. Number 5, removing makeup. Before makeup remover existed as a category, Vaseline removed makeup. Mascara, foundation, lipstick, and eyeshadow, removed without pulling the skin, without the sting of the alcohol-based removers that came later, and without leaving anything raw. Applied with the ring finger around the eye area, it was worked gently into the mascara on the lash, then removed with a warm, damp cloth, 2 cloths. The first one takes the Vaseline and the makeup together. The second one, clean and warm, takes whatever the first missed. Makeup remover today costs $12 to $18 a bottle. The second cloth is not optional. Number 4, the under eye area. The skin under the eye is the thinnest skin on the body below the scalp. It absorbs almost nothing. It doesn't need a pea-sized amount. It doesn't need a rice grain. It needs a touch. Whatever remains on the ring finger after the face amount has already been applied. Night only, never morning. Vaseline under the eyes in daylight shows in every photograph. A particular shine the flashbulb of a 1950s camera caught with clarity. Eye cream today runs between $45 and $80 for the standard sizes. Night, touch, ring finger. That is the full instruction. Number 3, the neckline. Every woman who knew anything extended her routine below the jaw. The neck ages differently than the face, and faster, because almost no one treats it the same way. The platysma, that thin sheet of muscle running from the collarbone to the jaw, responds to consistent care, the same way the face does. Ignore it and it shows. Direction matters here. Always downward from jaw to collarbone, never upward. The skin on the neck is thinner. Upward pressure, even gentle upward pressure, repeated every night, works against what is underneath. This was not in any advertisement. It was in the bathroom. Neck cream today runs between $35 and $55. It generally does not tell you which direction to apply it. 23 items down, 2 left. Everything on this list, the heels, the lashes, the gloves, the shine along the cheekbone, ran on the same mechanism. Number 2 is the mechanism. Number 1 is the reason she understood it, and we stopped being told. Number 2, the overnight face. Damp skin, then the smallest amount you think you need, and then half of that. A rice grain on each cheek, a touch on the forehead, a trace across the chin, blended with the ring finger only. Never the palm, never pulled, always pressed. Then sleep. The common mistake is using too much. Too much does not work twice as well. Too much sits on the surface, transfers to the pillowcase, and achieves nothing. Night cream from the department store counter ran $12 to $18 in 1958. The jar of Chessy Bros at the Rexall still cost 39 cents. The women who knew the difference used the 39-cent version. The women who did not know the difference bought the $12 version. The results, as far as anyone could tell, were not distinguishable. The quantity is the technique. Number 1, the damp skin rule. This is not the most surprising trick on the list. It is the reason every other trick on the list worked. Vaseline on dry skin sits on top. It softens, it smooths, it does something, but it doesn't seal in what's already there, because there's nothing there to seal in. Dry skin has already lost the moisture. Applied to slightly damp skin, 30 seconds after washing, not 5 minutes, not after you've toweled off and done everything else, it seals in the water that hasn't yet evaporated. That water stays. The skin stays hydrated through the night. What you wake up with is different. 1 degree of damp, 30 seconds, a rice grain of product, ring finger. That was the system, not the jar, not the brand, not the 12 replacement products that arrived over the following 20 years. The knowledge of when and how much, and the fact that someone took the time to pass it down. The jar is still on the shelf. 39 cents, more or less. Most women walk past it. You know what it's for now? 25 uses, 1 jar, 39 cents. The women who knew all of this didn't have better products than we do. They had better instructions. The HEAL protocol is the one that brings most people back for the rest. Dry pumice, Vaseline, cotton sock, sleep 7 nights. Try that one first if you haven't. Then tell me in the comments which one you're starting with. And if there's a Vaseline trick your grandmother swore by that isn't anywhere on this list, I want to know what it was.